Hey everybody, Oscar here for notagarage.com, and back in 2017 I believe, yes 2017, I made a video about how to spot a fake profile on Facebook, how to spot a scammer specifically, and that video got a lot of attention, got a lot of comments and views, and a lot of questions. So I wanted to do an updated version of that is more applicable for pretty much any social network, and with some tips for the mobile device. So let's get started. The first thing that you should do is keep in mind all the notes I have and links and references I'll put down below, including the previous video, because I'm not going to go over all the information all over again. And there's some information in there that you probably want to watch about the general Facebook profiles and also images and why people do certain things. This is happening all over the place all the time. I get fake requests on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, Pinterest, TikTok, Snapchat, and obviously I put myself out there because this is my job. I am very active. I'm a blogger, I'm a content creator. I also am a bit of an influencer, not a super massive influencer, but I do have a little bit of a following. So I do put myself out there. So this is something that comes with the territory. The first thing that you should consider is, why are you in social media? Is it to interact strictly with actual physical friends and family members? If so, then the answer is pretty easy to avoid any kind of scam, is simply to deny all requests from strangers. But that may not be what you want to do. Then I have a list of questions that we're going to go through that should make you think about how you're being approached by anybody online for the first time. And I don't want you to be completely closed off and think that everybody's out to get you, but you should have a criteria and some parameters to look after so that you don't get scammed, get taken for a ride, and anything like that. So the first thing that you always have to keep in mind is, does this story check out? Not just what they're telling you, but the actual presentation of this person, does that check out? For example, my previous video was about being on a peacekeeping mission as a military person. And I thought, well, if you are in a peacekeeping mission in active duty, would you really be in social media blabbing about it to a stranger? Probably not. Again, go watch that video to get more context. But as I mentioned before in the previous video, I went over how to spot a Facebook profile scammer. But one of the questions I get a lot is, why do people even have fake accounts or profile scammers like this? Well, there's a couple of reasons why. One is they're bots and they're looking to build a financial stream of income. They may do that because if they have several bots, then they can promote a service, for example, to get more likes, to get more views, to get more interactions for a fee. That's one reason to have a bot. Another one is to just simply build up the appearance like they're legitimate people to run an actual scam. To say, hey, look, this person is saying really great things about my service, or I promise this link is good. Look at this person saying it's good. And the funny one is called catfishing. If you don't know what catfishing is, this happens all the time. People pretend to be something other than what they really are. And this is done, again, to build rapport with you, to impress you and have you follow them or interact with them in any sort of way. But it can also be done simply to ridicule you or to blackmail you, or for what we call in the internet for the lulz. That's just for fun. Doesn't mean that it's harmless, but they may just be screwing around with you because that's what they do, or they're brand new at this and they're playing around with ways to manipulate people. That is also a thing. So there's a lot of reasons why people try to use fake profiles to scam you or to run bogus activities with you. So what if you want to actually be open to friendships, relationships, or like me, you're running a business? How do you find out if this person is actually fake? Let me run through 7 questions that you should consider when you're analyzing a profile. Now, remember, if you're in just for social, for personal reasons, friends or family, then your best and safest bet is just to ignore all stranger requests. If you met somebody at a meetup, at an event, at somebody's party, at somebody's friends, at your friend's house, and they send you a friend request, you're probably gonna recognize them. Ask yourself, is this too good to be true? I mean, let's be real. If you're a 4, 5, 6, 7, but this person approaching you is a 10 and has everything perfect, in their profile they have beauty, they're smart, they have cars, houses, everything. Would they really be pursuing you? Now, this goes for girls and guys. Is this a normal thing that you get all the time, everywhere you go? Or is this out of the norm? Always ask that. Question number 2. Are you a potential target for a scam, or are you likely to be abused? Let me explain. Do you have stuff that people would go after, and do you share about that online? For example, do you post pictures in your fancy house? Do you drive a fancy car? Do you post that you make a lot of money? So if you post things like that, of course, you're going to attract people that want a piece of that. So always be careful. You may be creating yourself a target on your back for people like that, trying to scam you. This is not to put you down in any sort of way, but maybe you are a little bit older, or you don't quite get the internet the way that a young adult would. So you have to be conscious of that and understand, are people trying to take me for a ride because I'm older, because they think I'm a dummy? Now, I'm not saying that you are, I'm not saying that that's the reason, but always keep that in mind. Have you gone through a difficult time lately? Divorce, job loss, family death, anything that is traumatic, stressful, that puts you in a vulnerable position is something that you should keep in the back of your mind when you're doing social media stuff, because if you share that information out with people online, or they found out about it through any sort of mean, for example, maybe on the obituaries, maybe your financial loss is made public for whatever reason, people will find that to be a potential target and come after you to say, hey, I have a solution to your problem. I know what you're going through. And they will try to sympathize with you to abuse that vulnerable situation. So keep that in mind. What happens if you don't have any vulnerable positions? If you don't have money, if you don't have anything to lose, so to speak, you should still, or if you don't think that you are a target, you still should never, ever, ever let your guard down until you meet the person and you've gone through numerous interactions to be sure that they're real and that they have no ill will towards you. Another question I would recommend you consider is, are they being pushy? Are they asking you constantly to go to a link? Hey, go click here, go click here. Let me show you this, let me show you this. Whatever it is, and you just started talking, maybe that's not something that you want to be clicking on or interacting with. One clear telltale sign that they're a scammer is very quickly into the conversation, a few interactions back and forth, and they say, hey, I can't chat here very long, or I don't really use this very often. Why don't you come over here to WhatsApp and talk to me over there? Why WhatsApp? Because they get to have your phone number, and your phone number reveals a lot more information than we're going to go into right now, but it's an easier way to scam you. It's also harder for their profile to be shut down by the company. Facebook relies a lot on social connections. So if you become friends with somebody and you notice that they don't have any friends, they don't make any comments, they don't post anything, that's a red flag. But on WhatsApp, it's just one-on-one. You don't really know anything about that person. Very, very easy to forget all the social connections that they don't have, and very easy for them to send you stuff that is not restricted, and you kind of forget about all the red flags once you're connected to them on WhatsApp. So another red flag is, do they answer your questions? That's pretty easy. In my previous video, you notice that whenever I ask a question, they really wouldn't answer that question. And I get that even today when I say, oh, okay, what can I do for you? Oh, I just want to be friends. Well, but what can I do for you? And then they'll answer, what are you up to? Where do you live? What are you doing? etc., etc. If they're being evasive about your questions, you have to wonder why. That's just common sense, right? This is one of my favorite, it's not my favorite, but it's very, very frustrating when they start the conversations with stupid questions. Now, I'm a teacher, I'm a mentor, I'm a coach. I'm very much of the position that no question is a dumb question. But when somebody approaches me on a social media profile where I have everything laid out, I'm assuming that they have an interest in me, or they have an interest in what I do or what I could do for them. You would think that by then they know my name, the city I live in, and at least one or two of my interests, right? I mean, if I want to approach somebody for business or for personal reasons, I look at their profile to see, oh, okay, well, oh, they live in the same city as I do. Oh, look, they have the same car as I do, or they like some of the same topics I do. But if they start asking you, well, where do you live? Well, how old are you? And all these nonsense questions that are already part of your profile and they're public, that's a huge red flag. Be very, very careful when you get those kind of questions. One thing that you can do to find out if the person is real is to find out if they have other profiles. If you're not sure, if you're already kind of into the conversation with them and you're getting a weird vibe, of course, always listen to your gut, because that could be it. That could be it, exactly the issue. And then you immediately have a feeling, listen to that. But say that somebody approaches you on Instagram. It is most likely that people have at least 2 profiles in different networks, Instagram and Facebook. If they have Twitter, chances are they also have a Facebook or Instagram. Instagram is very popular, Facebook is very popular. Twitter is, it's a little popular, but not as much. But most people have 2 profiles. So do a little research and say, hey, so who are you? You can drop it into the conversation like, oh, I just went over to Twitter. I was reading some funny stuff. Do you have a Twitter account? Let's see it. If you're on Instagram, say, oh, what do you think about Facebook? Or I just posted a funny meme. I found a funny meme on Facebook. I wonder if you've seen it. And then maybe put into the conversation and say, oh, what's your Facebook? If they're asking you questions, ask questions back. And then you can start seeing if those profiles match. Sometimes, legitimately, people have different names in different networks. Maybe they want to keep anonymous interactions over here and they want to keep a separate persona somewhere else. That's fine. But you will, with some time, you will develop the sense to understand when is it somebody like that and when is it an actual fake profile. And that leads me to another little tip of advice. Sometimes you'll say, oh no, I'm very anonymous. I don't like to use my real name, or I don't like to post personal stuff online. Well, that sounds fine. I know a lot of people that are like that. But then why are you approaching a stranger online and expect them to give you information? If you want to keep an anonymous profile and a low-key persona, then do that. Don't be approaching random strangers on the internet, right? So those are red flags. One of the questions I had in my previous video was, how do you search for pictures on the mobile device? You have to go watch the other video, but one of the ways to find out if a person is an actual scammer right away is you take one of their pictures and upload it into Google Images, do what's called a Google reverse image search, and it will show you if that picture is found somewhere else. So basically, let's open up Chrome and let's switch this back. You'll notice that on Google Images, if we go to Google, click at the top where it says Images, there's no way to upload your image. So what we're going to do is click on the menu and then click on Desktop Site, and then you get the little option. Click on that, then click on Upload Image, choose File, and then you're going to pick the file that you want to analyze. In this case, I'm actually doing another example to show you, but we'll pick this one. And upload it, and then we can do the analysis and see what's going on. So you can also obviously do it on your desktop, and I highly recommend. And one new app, well, it's not new, but I didn't mention it before, it's called TinEye. I'll have the links down below, and then you can search for that and also use it in case you want to do a more complete search. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, be sure to go watch the other video or leave me comments down below. I'll be happy to answer in a future video. And thanks again for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you found this video useful. And I'd love to hear from you as to what kind of stuff you want to see. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.